Shalom Shalom Mishpocha! Welcome to another edition of Ray Bash's Ramblings. Today we're going to be talking about Tzitzit, and since I have a very short amount of time and I want to cram as much in as possible, let's get right into the text. In Bamidbar, Numbers, chapter 15, verses 37 through 41, we get the commandment of where Tzitzit, or otherwise known as fringes, come from. These are the fringes that are seen on the four corners of a talit, a prayer shawl, or the undergarment that we Jews wear called a talit katan, a small prayer shawl. It says, And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak unto Bnei Israel, and bid them that they are to make for themselves tzitzit, or fringes, in the corner of their garments throughout their generations. And they are to put upon the tzitzit in each corner a thread of techelet, a blue thread. And techelet is a very specific shade of blue, comes from the mollusk of the sea that was lost for a period of time. That's why tzitzit were only white for the longest time, and now we're slowly seeing the techelet being brought back into the tzitzit because the blue dye, which has been lost for centuries, has been found again in this blue mollusk, a snail-like creature. And it shall be unto you as a tzitzit, that you may look upon it, and remember all the mitzvot of Yahweh, the commandments of Yahweh, and do them, and you seek not after your own heart or after your eyes, which you used to go a-whoring, that you may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy to your Elohim. I am Yahweh your Elohim, has brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, Egypt, to be your Elohim. I am Yahweh your Elohim. So this is where the tzitzit come from, and it specifically says to put on the karfeh, the Hebrew word for corner, which is a 90-degree angle of the garments. And I've seen well-meaning and well-intended Messianic people put tzitzit on their belt loops. Even though that's well-intended, that's not the way we are to fulfill the commandment of tzitzit. It specifically says to attach them to the four corners of a garment. A waistline is a circle. It has no corners. So it's kind of invalid as a method of fulfilling this commandment. So let's get into some scriptures regarding the tzitzit. It says, hang on, I just lost my place here, just a second. Okay, in Zechariah 8:23 we have a prophecy as it says, Thus saith Yahweh Zevaoth, the Lord of hosts, In those days it will come to pass that 10 men shall take hold of all the languages of the nations, the goyim, even shall take the tzitzit of him that is a Yehudi, a Jew, and will say, We go with you, for we have heard that Elohim is with you. This is a prophecy basically saying that the commandment of tzitzit has not been done away with by the advent of Yeshua HaMashiach. It is a continual commandment, and this prophecy talks about a believing Nazarene Jews, a Jew who believes in keeping all the 613 commandments and following in the halakha, the way of Yeshua HaMashiach, walking in his footsteps, walking Torah as he did. And that strangers, that goyim, Gentiles of the nations, will come to this person in the last days, grab onto the tzitzit, which the tzitzit, we'll find out later, contains the name of God. And he'll say, we want to go with you, we want to learn from you, because we have heard that God is with you. And fast forward to Matthew chapter 9, verse 20, it says, And behold, the woman which had an issue of blood 12 years approached from behind Yeshua and touched the tzitzit of his garment. So why was the tzitzit so important? Why was it, what was the big deal about her touching the tzitzit of his garment? Well, the tzitzit, it's tied in such a special way that there are 5 knots, and the 5 knots represent the 5 books of Torah. The word 5 in Hebrew is chumash, which is also sometimes used to refer to the 5 books of Moses, the Torah. Now it's interesting. If you take that word chumash, 5, it represents Torah. You switch the letters around, you get the word Mashiach, which, Yeshua is the living manifestation of the Torah. Also, if you switch the words around again, you get the word simcha, which means joy. So in Torah and in Messiah, that should be our joy, because Yeshua is the living manifestation of the written Torah. So when she grabbed onto the tzitzit, she grabbed onto the commandments. Not only that, but there's 4 wraps. And the 4 wraps are numerically wrapped in such a way that it represents the Hebrew name of God, Yahweh. And it consists of 4 Hebrew letters, Yud, He, Vav, He. And so when she grabbed on to the tzitzit, she grabbed on to the name of Yahweh and to the commandments of Yahweh. So by faith, she was saying, if I could just touch the tzitzit of his garment, believing in the name of Yahweh, that I will be healed. And indeed, she was healed. So let's also discuss a little bit about another scripture about tzitzit. It says in Matthew 6:6, it says, when you go into your prayer closet, and having shut the door, pray to your Father who is in the secret place, and your Father who sees in secret shall reward you openly. Now, back in those days, unless you were a king or a dignitary and lived in a palace, you didn't have a closet. There were no such things as closets. So this English translation of the Hebrew and Aramaic and Greek scriptures of the Brit Chadasha, the New Testament, how are we to take this? What does closet mean? Well, closet was a Hebrew idiom for the prayer shawl, for the talit. So when you wrap yourself in the talit, it's like a closet. It's privacy. And you shut the door, and you pray to your Father which is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret shall reward you openly. So the prayer closet is basically a talit. Now, also, let's remember that Rav Shaul, he was a tent maker. That is another Hebrew idiom for somebody who makes talits, because not only was it your prayer closet, but it was like your tent. So that's where tent maker comes from. So when Rav Shaul wasn't teaching in the synagogues, to be able to make extra income when the donations of believers fell short of his needs, he would make talits, and he would sell them, and that's how he would support and sustain himself. Because he was a Rav, because he studied under Gamliel, he knew all the halakha, all the rules on how to make a talit, and also how to make the tzitzit, the fringes that are attached to it. Now, Yochanan, the immerser, John the Baptist, it talks about how he came into the wilderness wearing camel skin, and you also read that he comes in the spirit of Eliyahu, of Elijah. Well, it was also said that Eliyahu wore camel skin, but the camel skin he wore was his prayer shawl, was his talit. It was a camel skin talit. So, it was passed on down to Elisha, and legend has it that it was passed all the way down to Yochanan the immerser, John the Baptist. And so he actually had Eliyahu's talit, and that was the camel skin garment that he wore. Now, let us go lastly to the book of Revelation. Revelation 19:16 says, and he hath said, and he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So when Yeshua comes back, it says that there's going to be a name on his thigh, and I heard ridiculous interpretations saying, oh, it's going to be a tattoo. Well, those things are forbidden in Torah, so it couldn't be that. But if you wear tzitzit, the talit katan underneath your clothes, or even if you wrap yourself in a talit, where are the fringes going to hang? They're going to hang right on your thigh. And if the tzitzit is hanging on your thigh, we've already discussed that it contains the name of Yahweh. So, and the reason it says that it's a name written that no man knew is because that the pronunciation, the true pronunciation of Yud He Vav He has been lost. The best we can come up with is Yahweh. We know for sure the first syllable is Yah because it's in the Psalms. But the last syllable we're not totally sure of. But a safe guess, a safe bet is Yahweh. So when he returns, he's going to have the name of Yahweh written on his thigh, according to Revelation 19:16. So this also shows us and tells us that Yeshua HaMashiach was born a Jew, he died a Jew, and he's returning as the Jewish Mashiach. So I hope you learned a little bit about the fringes, about the tzitzit today, and hope you go away with this edified and filled. Shalom, shalom.